varicose veins because they tend to be alkali and they're really rich in certain chemicals that are very good for the vascular system, kind of like that grape seed extract that we talked about. All right, here it goes again. Exercise. If we can't get the blood moving in the vascular system, oh boy. So the key here is you want to get things moving, want to get things flowing for the cellulite, the veins, the varicose veins. Got to keep moving for prevention and to reduce the pain that's associated with them once you already have it. Other options other than medical surgical options, and those are available as well. You can speak to your physician about them. But there are support hose that will help support the legs. I mean, you still want the circulation, but obviously the pain, if you don't, it can help reduce pain, the support hose. Elevate the legs above the head for a minimum of 20 minutes a day. So, a reason to sit on the couch and watch TV, but with your feet elevated. Getting your feet above your head, not just sitting there on the coffee table, getting it above your head will help reduce. It gets the blood to flow out of there, it gives the veins a little bit of rest. Don't cross your legs. A lot of us women, we cross it or even double cross our legs. When you cross your legs, it cuts off the circulation and the blood supply to the legs. So try to avoid that as much as you possibly can. This is tough for a lot of people, but avoiding standing for long periods of time without, you need to kind of shift your weight, do whatever you can, walk around, or sitting for long periods of time as well. You got to get up, get things moving along. Do the best you can to not have to stand in one place or at least shift your weight around. Okay, I hope this helps address some of these issues for you. We'll be moving on to our next segment, which is the fitness portion of our show. Welcome to the fitness portion of our show. Today we'll be using the handy dandy dish towel or any type of towel that's probably approximate about the same size to do a little bit of biceps and triceps and a little bit of chest. And this is something you can do in your kitchen, anywhere when you get out of your bathtub, whatever it is. You can do a little bit of good morning exercises to get the blood flowing. First of all, I'm going to demonstrate what would be a triceps and biceps. What we're going to do is we use our own resistance on this, and we use the towel, and we resist with both arms. So I'm resisting while I'm curling up this one here on my right bicep. Okay. And then on the other side, I'm hitting the tricep. So when we switch the towel over, we can do the same kind of thing. We're going to hit the bicep, and see that bicep? It's just working there. And then what's interesting is you see the tricep lowering down as well, and we get a nice little work of this particular muscle called the tricep. We also have exercises that can help with chest and strengthening the separation between our breast tissue. A nice little one, just hold the towel out in front of you, and you're just going to pull it. And just kind of hold it there. It's like an isometric exercise where you just hold it real tight for about 30 seconds and then you release it and let it rest. Something you can use for shoulders with the towel is you kind of resist back and forth. And mind you, you're using your body's own natural resistance, so you're a lot less likely to get injured and you can kind of be easier on yourself. Or you can be harder on yourself with this type of exercise. And the handy dandy towel can be used in so many different exercises. As a trainer, I could run through a whole workout with a towel. I hope that those exercises will prove to be useful, and we're going to be moving on to our research analyst section of our show. Welcome to the research analysis portion of our show. And with us today is Ralph Turchiano, our show research analyst. Ralph?
Thank you for the intro. Yeah, today's segment seems to be more of a personal responsibility segment, at least when it comes to government and regulation. Let's start off with our first study. The first study shows that calcium significantly improves children's bone health. Now, what's interesting about the study is that when children that were deprived of calcium for a long period of time started taking calcium, they were actually able to catch up on their bone density. The disturbing part about this, which was done by Penn State College of Medicine, was this. Out of 3,100 children with 21 randomized studies, They discovered that out of boys, 7 out of 10 did not even get the recommended daily allowance of calcium. Out of girls, 9 out of 10 did not even get the recommended daily allowance of calcium. In this age of osteoporosis awareness and bone density, a 90% deficiency rate among children is something to truly be concerned about. So definitely, if you can, reanalyze your child's diet and make sure at least you're getting close to the RDA of 1,300 milligrams of calcium per day for children. After that, an interesting twist on an old problem, hay fever. They discovered that hay fever actually seems to have a benefit. Now, what caught the researchers off guard was this. They were checking to find out whether allergies caused non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. What they discovered was that they thought that allergies did cause it. They discovered the exact opposite. They discovered for every atopic allergy that person had, basically for one atopic allergy, the risk of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma went down by 25%. If they had 3 allergies, or allergies are 3 separate things, they discovered that the chance of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma went down 40%. Interesting twist and something that may be seen as a real inconvenience or a problem. So we have to really be careful what diseases or ailments we look to cure, because we may not know exactly why it's there, which is real interesting. This was done at the University of New South Wales. After that, a bigger issue, prescription drug addiction. Now, I'm going to read you some interesting statistics on prescription drug abuse. But first, let me start with the first comment that some parents were made regarding their kids being addicted to prescription drugs. For example, this one was given by Stephen Perez of Drug Free America. He said, "There's very low social disapproval. In fact, there are parents who are almost relieved that their kids are using Vicodin and not smoking marijuana," he said. Now, obviously, that's effective propaganda where you think one is more dangerous than the other. But now let me give you the statistics. Other deaths, which are less celebrated, I should say. In the age group of 45 to 54, overdose deaths fueled by prescription drugs now surpass motor vehicle deaths as the #1 cause of accidental death by the federal data all shows. Since then, drug abuse since year 2000, prescription drug abuse has increased by 80%. The number of painkillers prescribed now just in the first part of 2008, prescription-wise, was 180 million prescriptions. Right now, the death rate, for example, let's take a state out of context here. Let's take Florida. The rate of deaths caused by prescription drugs was, this is their words, not mine, 3 times the rate of death caused by all illicit drugs combined, according to analysis of 2007 autopsies by Florida Medical Examiners Commission released in June. So that's something to make you think about. For example, if you think about drug abuse as far as illicit, outside of it right now costs in the U.S. close to, they believe, $73 billion a year, just in insurance issues along with this alone. So again, prescription drugs do have a price. Just be careful, research it, and try not to make it something where you're dependent on the rest of your life. Otherwise, you have a high chance of becoming one of these statistics. Outside of that, next statistic. Researchers now believe from Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, believe at this current rate of weight gain, by the year 2030, at least 86% of the United States will be obese or overweight. If you are black, chances are you'll be in the 91% category. Mexican American, if you're black, you're in the 96% category. Mexican American, 91% of that category. That means, for example, in the Mexican American population, 1 out of every 10 people will be adequate weight. 90% white, Mexican, black, plus will be overweight or obese. This is a national emergency, and what has to happen is, I know tons of people that don't want to be heavy. They try to diet, they do everything they're told. But what the National Institute of Health has to start getting involved in is looking at environmental issues, whether it be chemical, whether it be poor diet advice, refinement of food, or whatever it is, they need to get down to it. No chemical contamination plays a huge role in weight gain and hormone disruption and thyroid disorders. They need to start researching it, because by 2030, if these statistics come true, global warming is going to be the least of our concerns. After that, another one. Sharon Plow, Merck's You may have heard of these drug companies, Schering-Plough and Merck. They have a drug called Vytorin. Now, this one has got some interesting aspects to it because a lot of people take it. But a lot of people also don't know, according to a European study, that it performed no better than a placebo at lowering the risk of major cardiovascular events, including heart attack, heart surgery, and death in patients with aortic stenosis. It did cut cholesterol, though, by 60%. However, everyone seemed to die a little faster on the medication. However, did the FDA issue any warnings on it yet? No. It's still out there, and about 1.5 to 2 million prescriptions are still being filled by that medication. An interesting thing enough, we had some doublespeak on it too, and I can understand the confusion. The people that did the research said, quote, "You don't help that valve disease, but you do help patients by protecting other heart blood vessels and reducing heart attacks and the need for bypass surgery or artery clearing or angioplasty," said Sir Richard Pedro of Oxford University, a statistician and cancer expert who analyzed the data. Now let's go back to the results again. No better than a placebo, lowering risk of major cardiovascular events. Begin to wonder after a while if these researchers are even beginning to read their own data. Now, never mind, as far as the financial impact. Schering-Plough and Merck did a good job of not releasing that information until after the stock markets closed, to realize it may have some negative effects. But there's also one more twist to the story, which I like to see more people inquire about. They said in one of the studies that Vytorin increased cancer risk by 50%. That is just a phenomenal number. But in order to cover it up, to some say, they looked at 2 other studies to basically reduce those findings down. It's 2 studies which are not complete yet, just to basically knock the edge off that 50% increase in cancer risk potential, which I find incredible. Now, Dr. Harlan Crumbles of Yale University says he doubts that Vytorin causes cancer, but he did say one thing. If I'm a patient considering taking it, it still bothers me, he said, and until other Vytorin studies are finished in a few years, it will remain unclear whether and how the drug benefits patients beyond what Zocor and other statins do. And the most criminal part and aspect about that is this. Why is the drug on the market if other drugs are less expensive, less harmful, and do a better job? You got to ask yourself that question. Why are people being prescribed a drug that has yielded no benefit than less harmful medications? That's a criminal thing that people have to really consider. But also, too, if you're on it, ask your doctor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ralph. Excellent information. Pay attention to this, you guys, particularly having to do with obesity and all this other data and information. Do further research on your own. Very, very, very vital. Thanks again for joining the I got to get the show right again, the Fit and Healthy Show. Have a great day.